I just finished my morning Vipassana meditation. 2 months ago, I think this was day 2 or 3 of the 10-day Vipassana course that I took in North Fork at the meditation center there. And since then, I've managed to meditate twice a day, an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening. And it's made such a huge difference in my life. I was just talking yesterday with the person who told me about the Vipassana meditation retreat and how much it benefited his life. And I told him, I still have some anxiety, but I'm not depressed anymore. And now in my own body, I can recognize when I'm starting to feel anxious. And I can understand that this is just a feeling that my body is generating. It's not even necessarily connected to what's happening in the moment. And it's gonna fade. I'll have one morning a couple weeks ago, I woke up with this feeling of incredible FOMO because the rest of my family was all vacationing together. And I had chosen to stay in California and not travel back to Nebraska to go on vacation with everyone because I couldn't manage it with the time and getting ready for another trip that I was taking. And I woke up with this incredible feeling of, I'm missing out on lifelong memories that my family is building together. And I'm so selfish for having chosen to go on my pre-existing trip and get ready for that. And I'm missing out on something incredible. And I started to feel myself kind of spiral. And in the past, this would have been something that would have ruined my whole day. Like, I would have felt miserable my whole day. And thought, I have to hurry up and meditate, right? So I sat down, and within 2 or 3 minutes, my mind started to wander and think about something else, and I wasn't even thinking about this incredible FOMO anymore. And I was like, what the hell? Because it seemed so important. I woke up with this idea, and it seemed like I had made this huge life mistake, and within a couple minutes, my mind had completely forgotten about it. I was like, wow, all of these things that I worry about, things at work, little arguments that I have in my relationship, and nothing lasts, In a year, is anything I'm worried about at work going to be an issue? I mean, even a week, really. Is anything that I'm worried about really going to be an issue? And it's just work. This job, am I going to have this job the rest of my life? Companies don't necessarily last that long. So why am I worried about all this? It's all my past trauma. And doing Vipassana meditation, which isn't connected to any religion, it was started by Buddha, but there's no dogma in it. Buddha said, just pay attention to the sensations that are happening in your body. There's nothing religious about that. And what's so cool about the meditation retreat, they don't ask for any money. They won't even let you donate until you have finished a 10-day Vipassana course, so that you can realize for yourself, whether this made a difference in your life and whether you want to pay for someone else to go. And they won't tell you how much it costs for someone else to go. They claimed it was too hard to calculate. So you just decide for yourself, someone else paid for me to go to this course. And I'm feeling so much benefit from it. I want someone else to feel this benefit too. I want someone else to have relief from their suffering. It's been a remarkable experience, and I'm really hoping that I can continue meditating twice a day, at least for the first year. I'm gonna have to admit, when I first found out that the homework was to meditate for 2 hours a day, I was so heartbroken because I felt so wonderful at the end of that 10 days. And then I was like, oh man, how am I ever going to meditate for an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening every day? That's crazy. Who has time for that, And then I started to try. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to make a commitment to meditate at least in the morning and the evening for an hour. But if I'm on vacation or if I'm visiting friends, I'll do it for less time. So 2 weeks after I left the course, I was staying overnight at a friend's house. And so that Saturday evening, I only meditated for 20 minutes. And then that Sunday morning, I only meditated for 20 minutes. And it really didn't do anything. It takes a while, especially as a beginning meditator, to really get into that mental state where you can actually start dealing with some past traumas or purifying your mind, as they put it in the meditation course. So the next time I went and stayed at a friend's house, even though it was late, when I went to bed, I meditated for the full hour. And I woke up early. I woke up at 6:30 and I meditated for an hour in the morning because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to, meditate later in order to get my morning meditation in. And it's like, if you're going to sit, you might as well sit for the full hour. Even if you're fighting falling asleep, right? That's the worst. But it's worth doing. It really is. It sets the tone for your whole day. And it's so cleansing at the end of every day. And it has long-term benefits for your life. For being able to deal with anything that comes up with equanimity. I can see myself reacting in totally different ways than I would have before the course. I'm so much more chill now. If I have an argument with my husband now, I recognize that he's going through something. He's upset about something, and I can get outside of my own defensiveness sometimes. Hopefully more in the future. Get out of my own defensiveness and have compassion that my partner is suffering through something right now. And there was a point during the retreat, I think it was day 7, where I realized that any time in my life that I perceived that someone had hurt me, I could look at that instance and see that either I was miserable, and so I was allowing myself to feel misery from whatever that person's behavior was, or the person who did it was miserable. And they were just ignorant of what they were doing. They didn't understand what they were doing. And so I really hope I can keep going with this. I really hope I can do an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening the whole year and beyond. And I would highly encourage anyone who is anxious or depressed to do a 10-day Vipassana retreat. It's incredible. And even if you choose not to meditate an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening, you will come to realizations during the course. You'll understand yourself better. I was able to forgive myself. I was able to forgive people in my life who've caused me significant pain. Or in the case of Vipassana meditation, that I have made myself miserable over their actions. It's just been an incredible journey, and I highly encourage you to go on it as well. Be happy.